Alright, here's what happens. We're making maple syrup, but it all starts out there. I'm pointing at the sign that says photosynthesis. Starts in the sugar bush with the maple trees. Maple trees use the rain to make sap. We collect the sap, we bring it back here, we boil it, and we make maple syrup. Here's the way that works. We collect all the syrup on the back of the truck, we bring it in here, we pump it into these big white tanks. From there, it gets pumped up into that little silver tank. From there, it runs into here. We call this thing an evaporator. And the way it works is that Maple Madman here and Pickle Puss get here early in the morning and they build us a fire. And they really get that fire stoked. And it gets hotter and hotter. The evaporator gets hotter and hotter. And pretty soon the sap starts to boil. And it boils, 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 and it boils. I guess maybe we've done enough boil, but we'll pretend that we haven't. And when we're all done, it moves from that tank into this tank, gets run off here, and it's finished maple syrup. And it's ready to go on pancakes, or waffles, or French toast, or sausage, or ice cream. You got to put it on ice cream. Good on ice cream?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
No question.
How do we know it's maple syrup? There's a number of ways. First of all, the old candy maker's test, where you stick a ladle or a spoon or something in there, and when it sheets off the ladle, it's almost maple syrup. The other way is temperature. We know that maple syrup boils at 7 degrees above the boiling point of water. We know that water boils at 212 degrees at standard temperature and pressure. We are obviously not at standard temperature and pressure. I forget what the altitude is here, 600 or 700 feet. And the barometric pressure changes hourly sometimes. So to do strictly temperature, you need to calibrate your thermometer, find out what point today your water is boiling at, and adjust your maple syrup temperature to that. 7 degrees above water. The third way is with a hydrometer. And the way that works is it's measuring specific gravity of the syrup. When it floats at, it's a little hard to see there, but the red line at 59 degrees or 3 or 32, something or other, I don't know, there's all kinds of ways of measuring it. But at the red line, it's finished maple syrup, and that's temperature compensated. So at that point, we draw it off, and it's finished maple syrup. So that, the stuff that's up here facilitates all that. The cup to draw a sample in, the hydrometer. This is a surfactant, which when it's boiling real hard, it may boil over, make a mess. Put a couple of drops of that in, it breaks down the bubbles, and takes care of that. When it's finished syrup, we run it through a couple of filters that catches the birds and the rocks and the little kids that have fallen into the evaporator, and also a substance that we call sugar sand. And the way that is that just like our blood, sap is a tree's blood, and it's full of minerals, calcium, phosphorus, all that stuff, magnesium, all that sort of stuff. As the water boils away, that stuff is in a supersaturated solution. As the solution cools, that precipitates out. So that's what this catches. It keeps the syrup nice and clear. The syrup, if we could keep that in solution, would probably be better for us health-wise, but it will all just precipitate out to the bottom of the bottle, and then you got kind of a lucky mix.
What about the sock, Don?
The sock is instrumental to Riveredge's maple syrup operation. We always like to be a little different from your run-of-the-mill maple syrup, and that's what the sock is. Maple Madman over there buys a pair of hunting socks, these heavy wool socks, every fall. He wears them all winter, never takes them off. In the spring, just before we're ready to make syrup, we peel them off him, and that adds just a little bit of flavor to the syrup, and that makes Riveredge maple syrup just a tiny bit unique. So that's the nickel tour of what happens from the Sugarbush, the maple trees, to your ice cream or your pancake.